people my age in their 20s didn't stop collecting action figures or watching episodes of their favorite cartoons or reading comic books or playing video games about our favorite characters. A lot of people would stop playing Halo if Chief was removed from the equation, and a lot of Spider-Man fans don't like characters like Spider-Gwen or Miles Morales. Now, a lot of people in the more radical political sphere would like to tell you that the reason you don't like Miles Morales is because you're racist, and the reason you don't like Spider-Gwen is because you're sexist. Now, I personally love the suit designs, and I like the idea of multiple spider people. I don't hate that idea at all. I actually, if I had to lean somewhere, I'd lean more towards liking it. I think the problem a lot of people had with Miles Morales, and I'm not an avid comic reader, but I know enough about him, I think people don't like Miles Morales because he's, well, a threat to Peter Parker. He's a replacement of Peter Parker in a lot of cases, and I don't think that works. And the thing is that, again, you don't have to be racist to dislike Miles Morales or Spider-Gwen or anything like that. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's like saying people that don't like Peter Parker are anti-white. That's insane. That's just the most intellectually dishonest, stupid... God, don't even let me get into that. Let's not get into that. Moving on. A lot of times we don't like certain characters because we feel like they're a replacement for our favorite character. That's why I really didn't like Spartan Locke in Halo 5. It's because I constantly thought he's gonna replace Master Chief. When I was young, I was told another Halo rumor that was along the lines that Halo 4 would just be about the Arbiter and Chief is permadeath after Halo 3, where he's just stuck in space forever. So Arbiter would take his place. I'm not anti-Covenant because I don't like that idea. I love Arbiter. I like Spartan Locke, and I like Miles Morales. But the thing is, the idea of them replacing my favorite character concerns and bothers me. I can't really avoid this topic, so the idea that Miles Morales is there for diversity's sake and to, you know, be more progressive with a black character, I don't hate the idea. Like, the thing is I'm sorry that radical leftists have fucking hijacked this. I really am. Because I love the idea of more black superheroes. I love the idea of more female superheroes. Because I can't pretend that the big reasons I relate to a character isn't because I see myself in them both on the surface and deep down in their stories. That's why I do think representation is important. It just can't be mandatory. Mandatory diversity is, in my mind, borderline racist. If you have a diversity quota that has to be reached, I just feel like that's not human, that's not natural. If somebody was like, okay, this group can only be white people, it's like, I mean, unless you're doing really specific casting for a movie, oftentimes you don't need specifically this gender, specifically this color skin, again, unless you're doing specific casting for a very specific role. I'm getting a little bit out of my depth here, so we're gonna go back to video games and characters and stuff like that. In case you haven't seen the new Spider-Verse trailer, it looks amazing. Just love the art style of this movie. I'll show a couple little clips here. I don't want to get my video flagged or anything for copyright. But I think the reason I like it is when I first saw the original trailer and it mostly focused on Miles Morales, I had that fear again. Is this character trying to replace the one I grew up with? And again, I don't think it's like SJWs want Spider-Man to be black. I don't go there in my head. Because the inverse of that is, oh, fucking fascists just want Spider-Man to be white, you know? I don't want to go either way there, you know? I don't want to go... Because if I have to go to one way, then I also have to go to the other. That's the way extremes work for me. I don't want to be victim to horseshoe theory. What made me happy about this trailer is that it has my Spider-Man next to Miles Morales and Spider-Gwen. And when I say my Spider-Man, it's not because he's white, it's because he's the original. He's the one I grew up with. Damn it, if I would have grown up with Miles Morales, it'd be the inverse. I'd be like, who the hell is this fucking red and blue suit white dude? Get him out of here, you know, I like Miles. If I was raised with Miles, that's where I'd be. On the Halo side of things, it's why I don't like Spartan Locke, or didn't like Spartan Locke, is because I thought he was going to replace one of my all-time favorite video game characters. I'll go to the Kingdom Hearts side and completely take race and gender out of this. I'm really scared that Kingdom Hearts is going to eventually ditch Sora for maybe Roxas or Aqua or somebody else. I don't care what gender or race they are or what they look like. if they're not Sora, then it's an unjust replacement of something I love. Why can't they coexist is what I continue to ask myself. And the Spider-Verse trailer answered it. They can coexist. So suddenly my opinion on Miles Morales is shifted, because it goes from kind of having this little bit of resentment towards him, like, oh, I hope he doesn't end up replacing Peter Parker. I hope he doesn't end up replacing that character that I love. And now seeing him working together with him in the Spider-Verse trailer, I'm like, hell yeah, that's fine. I like his suit. I like Miles. He's not the most interesting comic book character, but I like him. He's fine. Just do not replace. You can add on new characters. You can make new characters. You do not have to color swap people. You do not have to add in entirely new people. Two things can exist next to each other. That's fine. So a lot of times people just don't like characters because they feel like a replacement. I think some people resent Rey and Finn because it's not Luke and Han and Leia. I think some people resent Miles because he's not Peter. People resented Locke when there was an idea that Locke was going to be replacing Master Chief. And again, going back to when I was little and I was told by my friend, oh yeah, Halo 4 is going to be an Arbiter game because Chief is dead. I was like, no, fuck that. And it's not because I dislike the Arbiter. Just do not replace the people I care about. In fact, when watching Infinity War, I was scared that they were going to start killing off my favorite characters permanently and then replacing them with different people. I was really worried about that going into Infinity War. So when your favorite characters get swapped out for counterparts, whether it's a new Spartan that replaces Master Chief, or someone else that can stick to walls that replaces Peter Parker, or, I don't know, you can just make any list. When people see like a gender swap, like in Ghostbusters, they're not mad because they're sexist assholes. Well, some of them might be, but let's not get into that. That's going into the extremes. Let's stay in the moderate realm here. A lot of them are just thinking, this is a middle finger to the characters I love. If you replace them with anybody, it's a middle finger to the characters I love. And I know it's not a racist or sexist thing because people were mad when Andrew Garfield took over the Spider-Man movies instead of Tobey Maguire. It's another white guy, so they should be happy, right? No, it's not the face, it's not the voice, it's not the person they fell in love with as a kid. So stop pulling the SJW card and stop pulling the racist sexist card. Stop it. People just don't like their favorite characters being removed. Our culture is very much so solidified in fiction. We love our fiction. And it's really weird. We're seeing more of this than like 25 years ago. I was talking about this with my parents. They're a bit older. I mean, the idea of like 20-year-olds buying action figures and comic books and you know, watching movies over and over again and then watching videos about those movies and then playing video games based on the characters from these comic books and movies and then buying the figures again, and that is kind of new. We get really emotionally invested in our escapism, and so when things come in and replace our favorite characters, it feels like a middle finger. So, I like Miles Morales right now. Like, in my head, when I think of Miles Morales, I think of the guy that's gonna work alongside Peter Parker in the new Spider-Verse movie, which looks like an amazing fucking movie. The truth is when we look at video games or movies or TV shows, and the reason we get invested in them is the identification part of our brain lights up like a fucking Christmas tree when we look at a video game character on screen. Even if they don't even look like us, but it helps if it does. That's why people like character customization even in first-person games where you can barely ever see what you look like. We like that identification. Some people, it doesn't light up as much. It doesn't light up as much, and they'll play as someone that looks nothing like them in the video game and they don't care. But for me personally, if I can make my character have a bit of a baby face and scruffy blonde hair and blue eyes, that's what I do because that helps me connect. Why do you think I related so heavily to Luke Skywalker when I was a kid? So I'm all for representation and I'm all for diversity. But you don't have to force it. You don't have to kill off characters because they don't have the right skin tone in any context. So really, you can add on. Comic books could use new characters even if they have the same powers or the same suit of armor as someone else. And they don't have to be that original for people to love them. That's fine. But you can add. You do not have to replace. And that's important. So a lot of times people's animosity comes from a place of, why are you killing my character? Why are you replacing them? Where's the person I'm here for? And yeah, rightfully so. Rightfully goddamn so. At the end of the day, we do have to remember that it is fiction. But it's okay that it matters to you. If you feel like someone's shoving a middle finger in your face when it comes to the franchise and things you care about, you shouldn't be quiet because shut up, they're just a comic book or it's just a video game. It matters to you. That's fine, own that. But you can't fly off the handle. And you can't act like an animal because of it. You gotta find your center. You gotta find your middle ground. Somewhere between animal and submissive little punk that doesn't care what you do to his favorite stories. You know, there's a middle ground in between the crazy extremes. So to just summarize this video as simply as possible, I don't like the idea of my characters being replaced in any context. I hope Sora's not replaced at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 or halfway through. I really hope that Master Chief is never replaced, especially because these characters are CGI and you can just have them be whatever. It's not like you need an actor to play that character. You know, you might have to switch voice actors, but as long as it's the same character, that's fine. Unless it's Batman, Kevin Conroy for life. And so yeah, that's basically the video. It's crazy how my opinion on Miles Morales changed from a trailer just because it showed it in a context that wasn't of replacement, but instead of a growth. It's an expansion on the Spider-Verse, and it's not this like, oh, you know, Peter Parker's old news, now it's Miles. Like, no, he's not old news to me. God, I've been watching Spider-Man movies and reading Spider-Man comics and playing Spider-Man games since I could talk, since I could walk. And he's never gotten old to me. Don't you dare tell me that my favorite characters are old news. So, and there you go. A lot of the frustrations you see on the internet about this kind of stuff literally comes from, do not tell me my favorite character is old news, or is inherently racist because he was written as a white character. Fuck that. Fuck that. So, stay out of the extremes, and I really hope the Spider-Verse movie's good. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you when I see ya. Goodbye.